Hello, welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I've got a book haul, 24 books. Though some of them are picture books. But yeah, I've got a book haul today to go through, and if you're not new to the channel, I'm Jack, but if you're not new, you will know I've been on a kind of restricted book buying since I've been trying to sell my house. So we've had some books, I've had to put loads of stuff in storage, I've had a restricted library, I'm trying not to fill my house up with books. This is what my usual go-to to do. But the last couple of weeks I've had a very special time visiting Katie from Books and Things invited us to a book launch, and I met loads of booktubers. So of course we went book shopping, so I've got books from that. So I've got some brand new books. I wanted to buy some books for Picture This. I've got some of those, which is my readathon I'm running with Shelley Swearingen throughout the month of April. And I was sent some books by people, and I found some books, amazing bargains in charity shops and in secondhand bookshops. So I've got a lot to share, so let's get into it. I'm going to talk to you about each of the books that I've bought, not in a huge amount of detail because there are so many. So first of all, I think I'm going to talk to you about some of the books that I was sent by or gifted by some of my lovely BookTube friends. So I was sent couple of months ago now, 3 books by the lovely Gemma from Gem of Books. She's also absolutely wonderful. She'll always kind of like re-gift her books after she's finished reading them, unless she desperately wants to keep them. So she's always sort of going, I've got this pile of books, who wants them? So she had Akwaeke Emezi's The Death of Vivek Oji, which I wanted to read for some time, and this is about a boy called Vivek Oji. They burned the market down on the day Vivek Oji died. One afternoon, a mother opens her front door to find the length of her son's body stretched out on the veranda, swaddled in Akwaiti material, his head on her welcome mat. The death of Vivek Oji transports us to the day of Vivek's birth, the day his grandmother Ahuna died. It's the story of an overprotective mother and a distant father, and the heart-wrenching tale of one family's struggle to understand their child, just as Vivek learns to recognise himself. So yeah, this looks really excellent, and I've just heard so many great things about it. I've only read one Emezi book before, and that was Pet, which was really good. Oh, hang on, I did try and read another Emezi book and I didn't get on with it, but I loved Pet. Okay, so the next one is, she sent me How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House, which was shortlisted for the Women's Prize last year. So you know me, I'm always late with these things, and this is a story about in Baxter's Beach, Barbados, Layla's grandmother, or Lala's grandmother, Wilma, tells her a cautionary tale about what happens to girls who disobey their mothers. From what I know, this book features quite some trigger warnings for domestic violence and stuff like that in there. So yeah, I wanted to read that for some time. And then, just in time for People April, which I'm going to be talking about, which is all about biographies, I've got Becoming by Michelle Obama, which is one I've wanted to read for absolutely ages. So thanks for those, Gemma. And then I got given, when I saw her last week, Charlie at Charlie Brick Reads gave me her copy of Nightcrawling by Layla Motley. Now, I think as well, yeah, it's an Waterstones exclusive edition because it's got these sprayed edges. I think this is a book that everyone loved, which was shortlisted for the Booker, right? I think it's the Booker it was shortlisted for. And all of my sort of like BookTube friends that read it absolutely loved it. But it is a story about a young girl navigating she's a sex worker, and she's a teenager, a 17-year-old sex worker, and she lives in a halfway house, which sounded really, really grim to me. It still does sound really, really grim. But last year I just couldn't face reading anything like that for the kind of mood that I was in. But I think so many people love this book that I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, thank you, Charlie, for letting me have it. I'm going to try it and see if I like it. I suspect it'll be heartbreaking. I'm going to try and do this in the order I got them in. Nightcrawling I got last week when I saw Charlie. I got the Gemma books a couple of months ago. Then I popped into local charity shop and I saw a number of things I couldn't resist picking up, one of which I've been looking for absolutely ages, and that was The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver, which is all about a family, and it's a modern classic, an epic of one family's tragic undoing and their remarkable reconstruction. And this is an absolute BookTube darling at the moment. It's an old book, it's a famous book, it's a book I've always wanted to read, and I've been looking and looking for this book in the library, couldn't find it, was thinking of reserving it, saw it in the charity shop, and I got it for like £2, I think, and like that lovely cover. So I'm very chuffed with that. Then I also saw, just because it looked like almost a brand new book, Cressida Cowell's The Wizard of Once. Nice middle grade here. I've never read any Cressida Cowell, and yeah, there's a David Tennant audiobook of this. Apparently he's fantastic reading her audiobooks. And then, wonder of wonders, I got last month the book Wildwood, which is by Colin Meloy, and it's illustrated by Carson Ellis. And I only picked it up because I saw a deep dive into the Illustrator Spotlight by Shelley Swearingen on Carson Ellis as an illustrator, and I fell in love with the look of the book, so I ordered a second-hand copy of Wildwood. Then I saw, randomly, in the charity shop, the second book in the Wildwood series called Under Wildwood, and it's really lovely. It's got deckled edges. I'm not a fan of the deckled edge. I think it's because I like things to be neat, and I don't like the deckled edge. But yeah, that was really cheap, and I got that in the second-hand shop. And then I've been chatting to David Wiley quite a bit, and he's got a great channel. Go and watch David. He's a really lovely person. And David Wiley was talking about Joel Haldeman, and I read The Forever War forever ago, and there is the omnibus edition of the Forever War kind of trilogy. So we've got The Forever War, Forever Free, and Forever Peace, which is the 3 books. And I think I read all 3 back when I was a teenager. But I might be wrong, but I've got them and I couldn't resist it. Look, it's like practically brand new. I love charity shops. Don't you just love a charity shop? And I can't remember how much I paid for all of this. I think it was like all those 4 books, I think I paid like less than £10 for. So amazing. Then last week, and I've hopefully got my vlog up by now, I was fortunate enough to be invited to the wonderful book launch of Katie Lumsden's book, The Secrets of Heartwood Hall. So I have 2 copies of The Secrets of Heartwood Hall because I pre-ordered it, and the day of the launch, which I didn't know I was getting invited to when I pre-ordered the book, it hadn't arrived yet. But of course I'm not going to go to the book launch and not pick up and buy a copy of the book and get Katie to sign it for me. So I've got 2 copies of The Secrets of Heartwood Hall. I had thought about doing a giveaway on the channel for my second one, but actually I know someone I want to give it to, so unfortunately it's not going to be given away. But yeah, so I got this beautiful, beautiful copy of The Secrets of Heartwood Hall, and I got my beautiful signed by Katie, which was lovely to meet Katie. What a day. She must have been so exhausted by the end of it. She had to talk to so many people. But I got that, and while I was there, I picked up some of the latest Waterstones Children's Prize winners, and I got Welcome to St. Hell, which is my trans teen adventure by Lewis Hancock. Then I also picked up this beautiful book, The Cats We Meet Along the Way, another Waterstones Children's finalist. Then I picked up some picture books. So picture books for Picture This. I'm not going to do my Picture This TBR here, but these are some of the books I will be reading. I got I Am Not a Princess, which is by Rachel Davis and Beatrix Hatcher. Then I picked up this stunning copy of this book. I just love the illustrations on this. This is Joseph Coelho, and that's the author, the poet Joseph Coelho, who was the children's laureate here for a little while. I don't know if he still is. But Alison Colpoys is the illustrator, and this is an inspirational story about a child unlocking the power of their own voice. I also picked up a copy of Circle by Mac Barnett and John Clausen, and this is their Shapes trilogy, I believe. There's the Circle, Triangle and Square, and I love John Clausen's work and featured quite heavily in Picture This for me last year. And then I picked up one of the other Waterstones children's finalists, which was The Station Cat. And just how stunning is this book? And this is all about a lonely kitten who wanders into a busy grey station full of sad grey people. And as she learns about the travellers and their struggles with loss and loneliness, she realises she can help to fill their world with hope and colour once again. And then one of the other Waterstones children's book prize winners. This is What Do You See When You Look at a Tree?, which is all about appreciating trees all around us. And again, another beautiful book. So I'm not going to talk too much about them because I'm probably going to review them. So then I thought that was all I was buying until I went into the second-hand bookshop near school the day after buying all those books with at Waterstones and with the girls from BookTube. So I went into the second-hand bookshop near school and I picked up E.M. Forster's A Passage to India because I want to read more Forster, definitely, and I think I'm going to read this with Claudia, but we'll see. More Forster. I picked up Stephen Fry's Mythos, which I have on audiobook, but I've always wanted a physical copy, and this is practically brand new as well. I picked up this, The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I have wanted to read this for ages. I almost actually bought a copy the day before in Waterstones at full price, and this is practically brand new as well, and I got it for £2.50 as opposed to £8.99, so that was a bargain. Then I found a book I've been looking for absolutely ages. I talked to my lovely friend Ariel over at Reading and Whatnot after we read 11/22/63, and we love time travelling stories, and I said, oh, there was an amazing time travelling film years ago called Somewhere in Time, and when I was reading up about the film I discovered that it was written by Richard Matheson. Yes, if you know anything, Richard Matheson wrote I Am Legend, which is the classic dystopian vampire book, which was turned into a film, not as good as the book, the Will Smith film, but yeah, Richard Matheson I would never have associated with this time travelling love story, and it is an absolutely wonderful love story. So I looked and looked for the book. Can't find it anywhere. It's not in print in this country. You can't even get a Kindle version because it's such an old book, but you can get an audio. So I've got the audio to listen to. But look what I found in the secondhand bookshop. Somewhere in Time by Richard Matheson, which I can't believe I found this in that bookshop. I just can't believe I found it. You cannot get this over here. You can't get it. You can't get it in the UK. So I was chuffed with that. And then just because it was £1, and because I was talking to the girls on Thursday when we went for drinks, we were talking about Belfast, because my family are from Belfast, and the sort of experiences that I had visiting them over there when I was younger. And I found this, A Belfast Woman by Mary Beckett, and it is a collection of short stories. It's very small, and it says here that there are 11 finely crafted stories of depth and compassion which chronicle unfulfilled lives and the longings and tensions of ordinary people in Northern Ireland. The title story in the collection has been described as one of the most powerful and moving tales to come out of that troubled region in recent time. So that's all the books that I purchased recently. Let me know, have you read any of them? Would you recommend me starting with any of them? At the moment, I'm not quite sure. I've got a kind of book decision paralysis on what to read at the moment because I've got just too much going on, too much to read, too many things to distract me. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did like this rambling nonsense and you've not been here before, maybe consider subscribing, and hopefully I will see you again here soon. Bye.